This is news today, and our headlines this hour. Body of 32-year-old medical doctor who drowned in flood waters in a storm drain at Teshi, Mamli has been found by emergency service operators who have been combing the area all morning in search for her body. NDC Member of Parliament for Ho West, Emmanuel Kwesi Bedra, insists he is not resigned from his position as MP for the area. And local unit committee set up at Birim in the Setre Central District of the Ashanti region to ensure law and order in the community allegedly abusing the human rights of suspects brought before it. Business, sports, international and entertainment are all a part of this package. Great to have you here. Please stay. Thanks for your company. We're live on DSTV channel 421 and GoTV channel 144. The body of 32-year-old medical doctor Aya Heffron that went missing 2 days after she was drowned by flood waters along the Teshi Nungwa stretch has been found. Dr. Aya Heffron was washed away in her car in a storm drain at Teshi, Mamli. 2 other occupants of the vehicle were narrowly saved by eyewitnesses. In a very emotional and touching mood on Joy FM Super Morning Show this morning, husband of the victim, Bernard Kofi Ejeopong, recounted how he helplessly watched his wife submerged in the flood.
Really, the whole incident just happened so fast, right in front of me. She was in a car with some people. The people she was in a car with were rescued. She was in the car, and then the car slided over a bridge into a big ditch. I ran after the car to try and save her or whatever. I don't know what I was doing then. But since that time, let's say from, I think it should be around 10:30 or maybe 11 p.m. Monday evening, I haven't seen her. The last time I saw her was she struggling or trying to get out of the car that was stuck on a bridge on the Teshi Demo Road. That was the last time I saw her from about 150 meters away, struggling in the car to get out. That was the last time I saw her, Monday around that time. We have a son, he's 15 months. So I was taking care of him, and then I fell asleep with him. Around 9 a.m., my eyes opened. That's when I heard the rain falling. So I tried calling her to tell her not to come home at all. Her parents live at Adabaka, so I was going to tell her to just go there, but she didn't answer. So we were still waiting, but I fell asleep. I'm not sure what time I did. And then I heard my phone ringing around 10. And that was her calling then. So when I picked up, she was telling me she was almost home. But there's a bridge, anyone that knows Teshi Demo Road, there's a bridge that you always have to drive over before you get to her house. She told me she was packed behind the bridge. The bridge was flooded. So I said, okay, then fine. She should just remain there. I'll get out of the house and then go meet her. Our son was not even asleep. I just locked him up in the room. He was crying, but I just disregarded him. So I went out to try and go meet her. As soon as I walked out of my gate, she called me the second time to tell me, oh, a taxi just drove over the bridge, so she thinks she can drive over. At that time, I didn't know how severe really the flood was. So I said, okay, then fine, then I'll meet her. So I left home. Walking there, that's when I noticed how severe the flood was. So as I was walking, I got to a part that was about 150 meters away from the bridge. At that time, the water was up to my belly. But she had already driven and got stuck on the bridge. Before she drove off, when I was on the phone with her earlier, some 2 people tapped on her window to give them a lift down the street. So she just obliged because it was raining and asked them to sit at the back. So they were all trapped in the car on the bridge, and I was observing this from about 150 meters away. I saw a group of guys trying to rescue them. So they were rescuing the people from the boot. I saw a man go out through the boot, and then I saw another lady go out through the boot. So I saw my wife also trying to go out through the boot. At that moment, that was when the car started sliding into the big ditch. There's a very big ditch. So at that time, I saw the last woman jump out of the car, but the car moved onto the ditch and was floating on top of the ditch. So I just ran through the water. At some point, I was completely immersed in the water. I was running in the water, my head and everything under the water. I don't know how I survived up to this point. But I ran after the car for about 450 or maybe 500 meters. But I was blocked and I couldn't follow because there was a building I couldn't go around. So I had to return, ran all the way around back to where she was parked earlier before she moved, only to meet the guys that were rescued. They were all shocked, so no one could really tell me anything. So I walked to the police station on the Teshi Rasta Road to make a report. Then they dispatched a military rescue team. I'm not sure what their name is. They came over, about 15 strong soldiers trying to do something, but honestly for about 2 or 3 hours, they were just going back and forth without doing anything. Around 2:30 or maybe 3 a.m., that's when they told me they couldn't do anything, it was beyond them. Fire service rescue team from the headquarters, and then they came over almost immediately. So at the time they got there, that's when one of the fishermen had seen the car, the top of the car, on the surface of the gutter or the lagoon or whatever it is. So he informed us, and quickly the fire service guys rushed with me to the car. They got in, searched through the car, and told me there was no one in the car. So we found the car, but we didn't know where my wife was. And since then, more or less, we've been searching up to now. We don't know where she is.
So this conversation was had prior to the time officials found the body of this doctor. Joseph Akable has been with the NADMO team since morning, even as they tried to figure out where the body was located. He joins us on the phone now. Joseph, so where did officials of NADMO find the body of Dr. Heffron?
Benny, so just a bit of explanation. About 30 minutes ago, we had pitched camp at the Teshi Rasta, the bridge where the vehicle veered into the stream and was pushed meters away. A towing vehicle had been brought in. They were trying to get the vehicle out of the stream just when we got a phone call from some residents who are miles away to the very end point of the stream, saying that they had found the body at that particular level and they had handed over the body to the family. Fortunately, I'm in a vehicle with one of the fishermen. He's taking us to the exact location where they found the body. I'll be engaging him in P. He'll be explaining to us where exactly they found the body and in what condition they found it, and I'll be translating that as well. The baby can you find a body Nangasao?
The Hono Insuana, why not only Insunum, the Hono Insuana, and a bola, a goodness celebrate Nula, any Indian, one never goodness celebrate, and now any show near one here, and near Dawson.
So she explains that she was found close to the water. He says she was covered by refuse they saw under her leg, and that was what prompted them that there's a body lying there. Now, on our say, body language condition, you say, now a movie where you see no match as a moon level, and now we prepare one. I said, nothing on it.
Oh, that'd be fine. So, no, fine, there by 1:30. The baby and prepare, when prepare, the baby are max, yeah.
Yeah, so Ben, if he explains that there was no injury to the body when it was found, that is what he just mentioned a short while ago. How long the most started search and some movement and say maybe I must ask some motion.
Okay, they want to say that I need 3 days and say that no. And we will feel my dad and I'm home say we shall follow Dumika and I'm in Sunano and you may canyon and be almost a that same and almost say what they say and Echo, a while Mr. Mantinan, and I'm a family home, and I'm doing my G. Twice the one is in a toy, Yakana Penum, Penum Risa, and then a young Copoya Doma, who you know my I didn't buy it.
So Ben is that is the explanation coming there. He says that it has been a search that has been on for more than 24 hours, right after the rains, when they were informed by the relatives they were found close to this particular stream, mentioning that the water had taken away the doctor together with the vehicle, so they can't find the doctor, for which reason they asked for their help. He said the search has been on in about 24 hours. They've been searching various levels of the stream. They got to the latter part, just to the point where it enters the lagoon and subsequently into the sea, was where they found the body. And as he pointed out, they handed over the body to the family to be deposited at the morgue. Benis.
Joseph, we have pictures of the husband of this doctor. Was he around when the officials were still searching for the body?
Boys na evinum couple evinum so obiane na adwuma mom baba na sare nyina etu yehugum
why na mo inform me tama mo
okay baba na sare na e friend ni kunu ni bla ba ko na ma na e friend no ba ni kunu nkasa de wa ma ho
ne bara ne ba no be make so mo fa ko
ne brother na be jira ho later on answer na ni kunu no ne
no bara be sign no ba no na send or tier like how
na man so cry because I'm not doing something yeah my man
that ba bu mo be ne no
ne wanwa ba man do so no so where dey anya ba ni sa.
So, Ben, if I put the question you asked me directly to him as to whether the husband was around when they found the body, he said no, they were alone when they found the body, the contact of a brother of the husband. So they placed that phone call and the brother arrived first. He said the brother was in tears, cried up until the body was moved from the location where they had found it, Benis.
Joseph, we know that the NADMO officials you were with earlier were also trying to search for other bodies because there were reports that some other bodies were missing. Do you have any update on that?
No, it's just the two individuals. I mean, you recall the narration is that there were 3 persons in the car. 2 were rescued, with the one who ended up being a doctor who now we know that she has passed on. What we can say for a fact is that in terms of this particular area where the search is ongoing, was only for the doctor that the search was being carried out for. So no other individuals were being searched for around this location. When I engaged the NADMO boss, he had indicated that the death toll was remaining at 6, and then that is what they are keeping an eye. So in terms of this particular area, that is the only individual that they were looking for, which they have found now.
Thank you very much, Joseph Akable, with the details there. Really, really sad development there. But the Central and Volta regions also recorded some deaths from the downpour. We know that in the Volta region, for example, a grandmother and her grandsons were electrocuted. Ivy Setterji is our regional correspondent. She joins us with more. Ivy, do we know the identity of these persons and how it all happened? Well, unfortunately, we've lost Ivy on the line, but we'll try and raise her there because Monday's downpour actually affected other cities around the country. But we've been speaking to the head of NADMO.
National security is meeting on the issue. The president himself is showing a very big interest. As we stand here, you can see we've seen the car, but we can't see the lady. I can't say it's a body now because we don't know what has happened. But so we are doing a major search here to see what can be done. We are here with the police, the military, the 48 Engineers Regiment to see what we can do if God will give us the woman or whatever.
Mr. Prempe, do you have a sense of the exact figures in terms of the death toll, the number of people you've rescued?
It's about 6 for now.
Gone to places where they place phone calls, the areas are being flooded, and the NADMO officers do not come in time to assist them.
We are in a developing country. There are countries when disasters happen, helicopters are moving all over to go and rescue people. We don't have that. We are in Ghana, in Africa. We don't have the enough thing like when it happened in Russia and America and other places, they can respond. But we did our best. Our men never slept in the night. We were everywhere. All of us were everywhere. And thanks to the police service, the fire service, and especially the 48 Engineers Regiment, when it became tough, they came in to help us. We did a lot, you know.
But going forward, obviously, there's still more that coming down in terms of providing resources for your outfits.
Sure. You know, as I made mention, Ghana being a developing country. So gradually, we will get there. Well, you can't compare yourself to the developed countries. So we need more resources. That's why when it happens, the military also comes in all the time to help us. So we hope for the better.
Mentioned that this conversation was earlier in the morning. So now we know that Dr. Heffron's body has been found by some residents who live not too far from where she drowned, and it's been handed over to the family. We also have reports of incidents of death as a result of Monday's downpour in other regions. We'll be bringing you updates from that. Our correspondents are following up on those stories. Now, the National Democratic Congress Member of Parliament for Whole West in the Volta region, Emmanuel Kwesi Bedra, is insisting he has not resigned from his position as MP. News about his resignation was reported Tuesday, June 19, with suggestions that his decision has been made known to the Speaker of Parliament, Professor Mike Okoye. But speaking to Joy News a while ago, Mr. Bedra explained he only expressed his reservations about happenings in his constituency which have not come to his attention to some NDC executives.
I've been telling people and asking them that if they cited any letter, they should make it available. We are in new media technology space where anything that you put out there could easily be verified or seen. So I've not in any way handed any letter to the Speaker of Parliament. What happened yesterday and the day before was actually that there was a letter that was in circulation that some constituencies were going to be suspended for their election. That is the delegate conference coming on this Saturday. And I found out that my constituency was part of it. So I called my chairman, and my chairman said he is not aware. I called the regional chairperson, who also indicated that they were not aware. And so I tried to reach national to find out why our name were included, and only to be told, in fact, I didn't get anybody from national. So I was told, that was on Monday night, that a petition has been written for our constituency to be suspended. So the question I asked was, if in natural justice process, if you have petition against somebody, won't you give the person the opportunity to air his part of the story before you put it out there? And if we who represent the people, that is the members of parliament who represent the grassroots, have been elected to represent them, and an issue of this nature happened without my knowledge or without the knowledge of even my constituency executives, then you put it out there that you have suspended the election in my constituency. They are not being fair to the grassroots. They are not being fair to me. They are not being fair to the people of the whole West constituency, because as far as we are concerned, we are not aware that anyone has written a petition. So that was it. And then I spoke to my minority leader, that's the leader of the House, and the deputy minority leader, that in fact this decision did not go well with me. I don't think it's in good faith. You cannot take people for granted. I represent the good people of West. Nobody, not even the regional chairperson or regional secretary or regional executive, were aware of this decision. So it is not good. So I told them that.
Okay.
So I told them that, well, if you don't respect the grassroots, don't respect the structures of the party, then I will resign. I told them that I will resign.
Okay, so you threatened to resign?
Not a threat. I mean, what is it? I represent people, and if the people, I cannot speak for them. I cannot give them hope that there was nothing of that sort. Nobody has informed me. Then why am I there? It means that my usefulness is not important. They don't see the need where I should be there.
Mr. Bedra also said that the elections will go on as planned. Now, they live 40 kilometers away from the nearest police station. The sheer distance has forced this community to create their own system of enforcing the law. The local unit committee has assumed the power to arrest, prosecute and adjudicate cases amidst complaints about human rights abuses and extortion. When you're found guilty, you are beaten. That's the story of Birim in the Sitre Central District of the Ashanti region. Live FM's Erastus Asari Donko traveled to the community to find out more.
Birim is a small farming community located about 40 kilometers from the Sitre Central District capital in Suta. People who want to lodge a complaint at the police station will have to travel that far to the capital to access their nearest police station. The most available option for them is a 5-member unit committee in the town, which has become the police court, judge, and jury. Residents say complainants pay between 50 Ghana cedis and 200 Ghana cedis to file a criminal or civil case with a committee. Arrest of suspects by the committee sometimes is violent and characterized by the use of force. Those who resist are sometimes tied up overnight and for the period of their trial. So this is the unit committee chairman's house, and this is where all the meetings, the various hearings, more like a Sahindrin, where people are arrested, tied at this place, and their cases adjudicated. And when they are found guilty, some of them are beaten, are assaulted with their hands tied behind them. Sometimes they are made to pay or part with some amounts of money ranging from 200 cedis to 1,000 cedis before they are set free. 18-year-old Solomon Bayo is having his hands tied behind him with a nylon rope to demonstrate how he was treated recently by the committee. He was hauled before the Sahindrin for allowing his 18-year-old girlfriend to spend the night with him in his family home. They wanted to tie my 19-year-old brother for bringing his girlfriend to the house. I tried to intervene, but I was given a slap. My senior brother, who also got up to prevent the act, was also slapped. They Cases brought before the local committee cover both civil and criminal. Angry residents say those who are tied and maltreated are mostly settler farmers. Some residents say the group has over time become too powerful and adopted in some cases inhuman means of adjudication. When a complaint is filed against you, the committee will arrest and tie you up. Sometimes they tie you at the venue of the trial, and you remain tied like that throughout the trial. They tied my hands behind me. Before then, they really beat me up. Assembly member for Brim, Seth Dapa, denies adjudication cases are conducted by the committee. He, however, confirms suspects are tied up and transported and handed over to the police at Nsuta. Until the various security agencies, until the various human rights activists and those in charge of the human rights of the citizenry step in to stop this trend, people's rights will still be abused. Reporting for Joy News, Erastus Asaredonko, Kumasi.
On Joy News Agenda, we'll take you to Hausa Zongo in the northern region to tell you about the poor drainage system there. We'll bring you more shortly. Thanks for staying here on Joy News today. The Tamale Hausa Zongo, like all other Zongos in Ghana, has the familiar sight of poor drainage system, informal settlement with limited access to basic services such as water, electricity and toilets. In the midst of all this, the people had high hopes that life would turn out for the best with a promise to give Zongo communities a facelift.
Tamale Hausa Zongo is in the heart of the northern regional capital, Tamale, and is known for several decades of its leather works. For this densely populated community, poverty, poor sanitation, and illiteracy are a way of life. But with a promise by the new Patriotic Party government to develop Zongo communities across the country, the people had high hopes. But 18 months down the lane, these hopes, the residents said, are being dashed. Audu Hafisatu Maida said 18 months is enough to begin to feel the impact of education, health, among others, but that has not happened.
Development fund, when we heard of it, we were really eager and happy that it is a good initiative, but there's no any feeling of it. We just heard like it's delayed, they really delayed us. The way we were looking at it, like immediately when the minister came and then he interacted with people, then everybody should come out. He said Zongo development, so we are now going to be beneficiaries. But really the thing is delaying.
Baba Meriga said other countries have benefited from the export and sale of leatherworks and wonders why government is not taking advantage to reduce unemployment.
So we need a support. Our business, this one we can export it. If we have the factory, we are together, we have the knowledge, we can create many things. And government will benefit from us. Go to Abidjan here and see what leather is doing. Go to Niger. We are having the Gidan Kallo, whereby you see different kind of designs of sandals, pellets, wallets, everything. You see? Go to Kano and see what leather is doing. We can also do it here if we have the support to do it. First, our children were just roaming about. Why is it when we have the factory, people will come and learn? It's also, it will help the government to achieve what he's doing about the employment.
B.A. Osman shares same sentiments that government should develop the leather industry, especially in the Zongo community.
We want the government to do is just to try and get a place for us so that we accommodate all of us, so that we'll be in a uniform. Because anybody, some of the tourists, if they come, they see us different places, and then the goods too, we don't have place to place them for sure, you see. But actually the demand is great.
Yakubu Abdul Kadri said several promises have not yielded results, and so he would develop the wait and see attitude.
People have been coming. Those maybe they will come as politicians. Those comes as how do they call them? NGOs. And then they've been telling us that they will come for help since our fathers and then till the time we are.
Martina Brugiri with today's edition of Joy News Agenda. Away from that, the Ghana Physiotherapy Association is appealing to corporate organizations and individuals to donate towards its community outreach programs that provide free physiotherapy treatment to patients. The association says many communities in Ghana lack physiotherapy facilities, making it difficult for patients who need the vital services to access them. At Fete Kakraba in the Central Region, where the association held its 5th community outreach, coordinator for the Physiotherapy Outreach Health Clinic, Samuel Kwekuwia, said they would need support if they are to embark on free outreaches 4 times in a year.
We realized from research that a lot of Ghanaians especially didn't know even when they had to see a physiotherapist. So we thought that in doing these community outreaches, one, it will help to create awareness about when people need to see what conditions people have that they need to see a physiotherapist, and also would help communities that don't have access to physiotherapy facilities. So we have physios who are working in Konfanochi here, physios working in Efiankwanta, in Takrady. We have physios from Accra, Kolebu, from private facilities, and we try to gather resources by ourselves. So somebody's coming from Kumasi bringing some crutches, somebody's bringing some lumbar corset. So we, everything that we see here are provided by physiotherapists, and we give it out for free. You know, because that's why we don't go to just any people. We go to communities that we feel that they may not have the access or they may not have the resources to get these things. We try to do things by our own strength, you know, individually, association, but sometimes, you know, we need more support. So we just want to appeal to people to come to our aid. That's when we come to them to help us to affect more lives.
You're watching Joy News today with me, Benis Abubedu. Business News is next.